Welcome back, guys. It's Spicy Varieties here, and here I'm bringing you Shell Smash Mouth PSCA Season 1, Week 2 against Old Butterfre fan and the Virginia Braviaries. This is now my third time attempting to recording this because I could not find out how to turn off Pokemon Showdown music because, as you saw with my last upload, it was getting pretty annoying. But anyways, here getting into the brief team overview, we have a Banded Zygarde, a just standard, what you always see, Mega Beedrill, a Choice Specs Roserade. I think I've learned what this thing is after trying to record this 3 times. I'm still not sure. Your standard Thick Club, a Alolan Marowak, a Tailwind Defog support Mandibuzz, and then a Mimi Flame Orb Fling Azelf set. So, looking at the opponent's team, I don't think it's as scary as it was last week, but there are still some pretty big threats. This team is very weak to ground, as you'll see, but yeah, brief overview. I can't touch a lot of these things. Like, Talk Specs is going to be very annoying because my Azelf is not good for actually doing any damage to anything because it's a meme. So that really only leaves Zygarde 50% to be able to hit this. Virizion is going to be an offensive threat here, and it's really the only thing that can kind of switch in and beat Zygarde 50. Magnezone doesn't scare me. I didn't really bring a Steel type. It can die to a lot here. Sandslash would be annoying, but I'm not going to really try to get up rocks here. And it doesn't do much as it's a Sandslash. Heatran is going to be a bit annoying as I realized after the battle that a Scarf set would have totally, well, it totally blows me away. But and we have the Zoroark, which it does its shenanigans things. You don't know what it's going to do. I'm not gonna try to predict what it's gonna do because it's gonna look like something else. But getting into the battle here, I'm going to lead with Lake Rapist the Azelf, and she's going to lead with the Heatran. So I'm going to have to switch right back out until I eat my teammate, the Mandibuzz, and right here I can pretty much just, after getting a South Rock against me, pretty much safely get up a Tailwind. So now I can switch out into Reptile Government Zygarde 50 and start really blowing things away with my Tailwind Choice Band Zygarde 50%. The discharge is going to come off, but of course it's doing nothing, and UFO is going to go down. And again, for some reason, in comes the Toxapex. Now, really, this thing would have been great to save against me, but it doesn't, and she just brings it in, and it just dies. So luckily, we got rid of that thing very early, and now in comes the Virizion. I can't really take this thing, so I go back out again into my teammate, the Mandibuzz, who's going to be able to effectively wall this thing, and I'm going to be able to effectively get up yet another Tailwind, but this time going into Tier 4, the Alolan Marowak, and I'm going to be able to start poking holes in things. Leaf Blade isn't going to do too much, and it's going to switch out into the Sandslash that is going to be two-shot by this, and she does end up sacking it. So currently 6-3, very good differential right now. But now in comes the Zoroark. I have to switch out into my teammate. But the thing here is Zoroark is just a Zoroark now, as I believe it would be disguised as Toxapex. I'm not really sure how the layout works, but that means Zoroark will not be disguised anymore. But now my teammate is able to come out and is able to yet again be a pretty effective stall to a lot of things on her team. And I'm going to be able to roost up here and then yet again get up a Tailwind. And this time I'm going into my Choice Specs Roserade. And now as I realize here, this was not a great bring because it just gets completely walled by Heatran. And as you're about to see, it's going to do nothing. So I have to again switch back out into my attempted thing to stall out Wallet, but unfortunately, the only bulky thing on my team, more of, but unfortunately, my teammate is going to take way too much damage, and is going to go down to the flamethrower next turn. I'm not going to try to do anything with this. I don't have any removal, I do not believe. So this can end up letting my teammate go down, and now I'm forced into a situation where I have to bring out Reptile Government, and I can again try to start spamming 1000 But this Virizion is going to be a pretty effective counter here, as I'm going to try to fire off a 1,000 arrow, and it's not going to do too much. So I'm forced to switch out into Lake Rapist the Azelf, and I'm going to try to do the Flame Orb, which was a meme that I should not have burned, because it's a terrible idea, as it just gets burned here, and she's able to switch out into the Heatran, and it does literally nothing. The entire point of my meme set does nothing. So, unfortunately, I'm going to try to skill swap here, which it fails. And now Lake Rapist is practically useless for the rest of this match. I am going to switch out into Tier 4 the Alolan Marowak, but I need to remember this thing is packing Foul Play, which kind of tears through my team, and that's why I need not to go into Alolan Marowak, because just because it's good against its stabs does not mean it's good counter. But I am going to be able to go back out into the Roserade here, and yet again, we are going to see the Heatran hurt this Roserade so much, and now I need to go into Lake Rapist. I could have theoretically gone into the Zygarde 50%, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to take unnecessary damage onto it, and this thing is useless at this point, so I'm just going to end up sacking it. And now we go into the Zygarde 50%, and I'm going to be able to, this is the last time, and now Virizion takes enough that now 1,000 arrows will start killing Virizion, and we'll be able to start tearing through the team. But I'm going to need to switch out here into Antonio, and I'm going to take the Grass Knot, and then I'm going to go for an extra sentry, killing the Virizion, and I'm just going to end up sacking it to the Heatran, because I don't want to switch anything into this Heatran, as I've said before. But we are going to get Zygarde 50% in, and Zygarde 50% is going to be able to fire off 1,000 arrows here, which does not kill the Zoroark, but I am going to be able to take this Foul Play and now kill the Zoroark. And the Heatran comes in, and Moment of Truth, because if it's Scarf, I mean, it still doesn't outspeed Mega Beedrill, but still, Scarf HP Ice would be very scary here, and it's Scarf Flash Cannon. So, luckily enough, the Heatran is going to go down, and now Shell Smash Mouth is 2-0 plus 3. GG to old Butterfree fan and the Virginia Braviaries. We are that on the 2-0, now 2-0 plus 3. And now this is, next week will be the last match with the things that I did not cover in the draft analysis before we get those week 4 transactions up. And I will see you then.